the usual. I'm thinking of doing my 3K, no, not 3K, fuck it, 300 sub special. It's gonna be what if Tatsumi was Akame's older brother. It was recommended by one of you guys. And I thought, why not? We're gonna start off with 11-year-old. Let's see, how old should he be? Tatsumi is gonna be 5 years older than Akame. And we start off when he's, I think, 11, 10, yeah. And he's watching out for his sisters, Akame and Kurumi, because they were thrown out like on the streets, and he's watching over them, keeping them safe. But during one time, like he's doing something, and a man approaches Akame and Kurumi. Akame is, don't know how much younger Kurumi is to Akame. But yeah, a guy approaches, and very unsavory guy approaches Akame and Kurumi and is about to try and do some unsavory things to them, but then he hears the, like, as if something is scratching against the floor, like something's being dragged, and then he hears someone ask, "What you doing? What do you think you're about to do?" He turns around, sees a kid, like an 11-year-old boy, looking at him with a slight grin, and he's dragging a scythe, like a little bit modified old scythe, not completely like in the picture, but that's what he's gonna look like in the future when he's older. With the black hair and such. So yeah, the guy is, a little stunned like a kid, interrupted him from doing what he was about to do to the girls, and Tatsumi just used the scythe to technically knock the guy out with a quick swing with the back end, knocking him out. And he begins to drag him away and tell his siblings, like, he will be back real quick. While dragging away this man, here's the thing. Tatsumi is like, as a mindset of, only the strong survive. So he has to, though he's still a little bit overprotective of his siblings, like Akame and Kurumi. So he would do anything to keep them safe. So he would become as strong as possible. He's already a little bit, skilled with the scythe because he trained to be able to defend against these kind of people. And the kind of people Tatsumi hate the most are rapists. And that's what that guy was just about to do. So Tatsumi drags him away and he begins to torture the guy. Like, he really fucking loves to torture rapists. Like, he finds enjoyment in it. He begins by cutting, like, he ties him up like goes down another alley and begins to tie him up, and uses the scythe. What's that on it? I have different pictures. Forget about that. It was just something for a shower that I did with him at one point. There's some pictures there. So anyway, he decides, he has to make it quick because his sisters are waiting for him. So even though he wants, to take his time with this, like real enjoy it, he makes quick work of the guy. Like, he cuts off an arm, like a hand, and just sees him bleed out and asks, like, does it hurt? Does it hurt? With like a smile on his face, like, yeah. Tatsumi kind of has a sadistic side to him, but it only comes forth when he's dealing with, rapists. So that's mostly when you see it, when he's dealing with it. And he then makes, quick work of it. Of the guy. And he then, disposes of the body. Not really dispose of it, he leaves it there, cleans off his prints. And he decides, cleans himself up real quick and goes back to his siblings, telling them, like, he's back, like, that the guy won't ever bother them again. They don't know what he means by this. Like, they are unaware of what Tatsumi just did. That's gonna be fun, in the future. So yeah, we do a little bit time skip. Like, he's been going around at night, having fun, just patrolling. He even found a place where the owner was actually, like, willing to actually not just help him with it, like, so they would get to feel what it's like to be, what they were about to do to someone they would have done to himself, but more in a different way. A little bit more nasty. Let's just leave it at that. And the owner actually sometimes pays Tatsumi a bit, more money, so he actually making an income. Like, he's already kind of an assassin, but so Tatsumi actually has it's actually a form of a job for him, and he quite enjoys it. He has a key to a certain part of this place that he can use, and he only got the number and all that for a specific thing he has to use to make them pay. And it's gotten to a habit where he actually does it almost every day. Like, the guy asked him, why not make a book, start a bit of an urban legend. Like, he slowly begins to be known, around the underground as the boy with the scythe. Or just scythe. And he doesn't mind this, of course. Like, he thinks, like, if people know, like, that means that more, like, females are safe from rapists and such. Like, they would be more terrified of the consequence of getting caught by the boy with the scythe. We got to, a few, I think, months, like, a week later, while he's wandering. I think, shit, I'm tired. It's like 8 in the morning. I think. Yeah, 8 in the morning. Need to get some sleep at one point. But yeah, anyway. He's going, he acts patrolling and hears someone screaming, running. And Tatsumi decides to check this out because he has a feeling he might be his next victim. The another rapist, so he goes and towards that direction. Let's cut a little bit back. We have like a young, like a child, 11-year-old Leone, or rather 10-year-old Leone, as a child, running away from a guy who had ripped off her clothes and is trying to catch up to it because he managed to get away running. She has heard a little bit like there's a guy or kid around this area that goes around killing rapists. Like, it might have been 3 weeks or a week since the first time Tatsumi actually killed one. He had been doing quite a sufficient job in making a tale out of it, and people have begun to notice it. Let's see. Yeah. So Leon is just running. Then, when the guy's just about to catch it, they then hear the sound of metal being dragged across like the stone floor. And this guy just freezes instantly. And then he hears a voice saying, "What you doing? Where do you think you're going? What are you after?" The guy turns around, sees a kid with a scythe, like being dragged across the floor, just looking at him with a smile, like a real sinister smile. And Tatsumi giggles a bit, like, "I found my next victim. It's gonna be fun." He then, like, before he reveals his next victim, he looks over the shoulder, like, he leans a bit to the side, spots, like, a girl naked. He then throws a piece of cloth, like a rope, that he always has a spare rope on him, some spare clothes on him, and he throws to her so he can cover it up, and then he throws some headphones, like earplugs, some stuff like that, headphones to cancel out the sound. He's like, "Put these on, you wouldn't want to hear the next part." He says this like with a sinister smile on his face. And looks at the guy like, "You're about to die. Like, real painful. I really hate guys like you. You should just die." So, Tatsumi decides to. He actually cuts him up, begins to cut him in right in the alleyway. He even told this kid like to turn around and look away. But having was not listening. But Leone was curious and looked back over and then heard screaming as well. Looked and Tatsumi just noticed and said like, look away. Nothing to see here." And it's like, why don't I take you to the usual place? That place. So you can get a bit of your own medicine. That would be quite fun. He begins to chuckle, just remembering what he could do at that place. So he takes, like, yeah, Tatsumi might be small, but he's strong. Later he's gonna be really dummy overpowered, but yeah. Anyway, he begins dragging the guy, through the alleyways, and Leone is a bit curious and begins to follow along. And Tatsumi stops, looks back, asks, so you want to follow as well? Follow me as well. Follow and see what happens to him, eh? Very well, you can come with me. Come on. I know just the place. I'm just going to a certain place. So Tatsumi goes to this place, unlocks the door, goes in. There's a waiting area. We just tell Leone, sit here, keep the earphones on, and nothing bad would happen. You don't have to hear anything. So, just sit here and wait for it all to end, And she's like, okay. She just sits down, and he just continues dragging the guy in, locks the door behind him, and proceeds to do his thing. And Leone is just looking around what is this place? She has seen this store before, and they sell horses. And she doesn't understand why Tatsumi is here of all places. What would he do? And then the owner comes in hey, are you... Is Tatsumi here? No, he's is the boy of the scythe here? And the owner's yeah. She's you must be one of the victims. He's all casual, saying, so he's working. No, he's watching, so he's at work. And Leon doesn't know what he means. He's it's gonna be okay. He's just doing his job now. Would you like some tea to calm down? And Leona would nod, because it was a frightening event for her. So let's get some tea to calm down a bit, while Tatsumi is having his fun. His siblings still doesn't know what he's doing, but he's having real fun. Just torturing the guy. The owner told him, clean up afterwards. That's all he asked. Remember to clean up your mess. I don't know where you put the bodies, but put them on display somewhere so people can, if they want to find the cause, and just see what happens. And he touched me, it's okay, sure. That's what he usually does. So the owner gets, makes some tea, and he serves it to down, here, calm down a bit. And she does. She drinks some tea, calms down. And it helps her calm down quite a bit. And she asked this, is that really the boy with the scythe? And the owner's yep, he's the one and only. Though he's only been active for a few weeks, but he's already scared most of the rapists, after hiding. And it's actually Tatsumi's goal, scare. He wants to kill them all, torture them, and have fun torturing them, seeing, causing them pain, but also making the slums more secure for him and his siblings to live in. Because their parents, abandoned them, and now Tatsumi has to take care of his siblings. And he does, like he earns money doing this, and slowly. So never mind. So Tatsumi finishes up, comes out saying like, I see you met the owner, and the owner's like, yeah. Nah, Tatsumi's like, so what's your name? You look like a kid. She's like, Leona, she's like, I'm gonna be calling you Kitten from now on, you know? And he's like, okay. And he's like, then have a nice day. He walks away. And he says like, I hope you get home safely. And he walks out the door. And then the owners like mentions to Leon like, don't tell his siblings. If you want to know names, it's Akane and Kurumi. If you've made them, don't tell them what he does. Because he wants to keep it a secret, like that he tortures rapists as a spare time to strike as much fear into their hearts as possible. And remember, he's only fucking 11. And they're like, Akane is like 5 or 6 years old. And so he wants to keep this like a secret to grows older. And Donna had mentioned to him to write a book to detail this to us. And then later people could, make it into like a tale. It would later become an urban legend what he's doing. But, and Leona says, so not tell his sisters if I meet them, yeah? Like, you can hang around the most safest place to be is around him. So, you can follow him around, nothing would happen to you. And that's what Leon decides to do for a while they're there. I think, yeah, we'll stop it here. I hope you guys enjoyed this 300 sub special. I had a long, good talk with Unknown about this one. We had quite fun, actually. And I just finished, talking, I started talking with him at around 11 p.m. And I just got done around 8 a.m. So we've been talking about a certain what if for quite a while. You guys would probably love to see. So, but anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm out.